Rosenthal Effect, Pygmalion Effect. The Rosenthal Effect, also known as the Pygmalion Effect, is a psychological phenomenon where higher expectations lead to an increase in performance. This effect demonstrates how the power of belief can truly shape outcomes. If a teacher, leader, or even a parent expects high levels of performance from someone, they tend to perform better. This is because expectations can influence behaviors subtly but significantly. When people are expected to do well, they receive more attention, encouragement, and support, which naturally leads to better performance. Conversely, low expectations can discourage effort and reduce outcomes. This effect underscores the importance of positive reinforcement and belief in others' potentials. It's a potent reminder that our expectations can become self-fulfilling prophecies, influencing not just the trajectory of individual lives but also shaping the dynamics within educational, professional, and personal environments. Self-serving bias. Self-serving bias is a common psychological tendency where individuals attribute their successes to their own qualities and their failures to external factors. This bias helps protect self-esteem, making it easier for people to accept themselves and maintain a positive self-image. For example, if someone does well on a test, they might think it's because they're smart or well-prepared, but if they fail, they might blame the teacher or claim the test was unfair. This bias isn't just about protecting our ego, it's also about our natural desire to see ourselves in the best possible light. While it can be beneficial for self-confidence, it can also hinder personal growth and realistic self-assessment. Recognizing this bias is crucial because it encourages a more honest reflection on our actions and outcomes, fostering better personal development and more authentic relationships.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
Social comparison bias. Social comparison bias occurs when individuals evaluate themselves based on how they stack up against others. This can lead to feelings of envy and competitiveness, especially against those who might excel in areas we value. For instance, if you pride yourself on your artistic skills and meet someone who is more accomplished in that area, you might feel inferior or competitive. This bias is deeply rooted in our instinct to understand our place in social hierarchies and can affect our self-esteem and happiness. While comparing ourselves to others can sometimes motivate improvement, it often detracts from recognizing our own unique paths and successes. Understanding this bias is essential for developing a healthier self-image and for fostering relationships based on admiration and inspiration rather than envy and competition. Social loafing. Social loafing is a phenomenon where individuals exert less effort to achieve a goal when they work in a group compared to working alone. This occurs because individual contributions can become less noticeable in the larger group context, reducing personal accountability. For example, in a group project, someone might feel their effort isn't crucial to the project's success, thinking others will pick up the slack. This can lead to decreased productivity and can frustrate those who contribute more. Combating social loafing involves clearly defined roles, individual accountability, and ensuring that contributions are recognized. Awareness of this bias is crucial for anyone working in or leading a team, as it highlights the importance of motivation and recognition in collaborative efforts. Stereotyping. Stereotyping is the practice of assigning a fixed set of characteristics to all members of a group, regardless of their individual differences. This psychological shortcut arises from our brain's desire to categorize information to make sense of the world quickly. However, stereotypes can lead to unfair assumptions and prevent us from seeing people as they truly are. For example, thinking that all teenagers are reckless is a stereotype that doesn't account for the many responsible teenagers. Stereotypes can be harmful and limiting, affecting how people perceive and interact with each other. Challenging our stereotypes is important for fostering a more inclusive and understanding society. Survivorship bias. Survivorship bias is a psychological phenomenon where we focus only on the successes and overlook the failures. This bias leads us to draw incorrect conclusions because we are only considering a subset of data, the survivors. For example, when we hear stories of successful entrepreneurs who dropped out of college and then made fortunes, we might think that dropping out is a common path to success. However, this ignores the vast majority who may have failed and whose stories aren't told. Survivorship bias can skew our understanding in various fields, from business and investment to healthcare and history. It teaches us the importance of looking at the full picture and considering all data, not just the successes, to make well-informed decisions. Recognizing survivorship bias helps us avoid overly optimistic expectations and better prepare for the realities of challenges and the likelihood of different outcomes. Zeigarnik Effect. The Zeigarnik Effect refers to the psychological tendency to remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks better than those we've completed. This effect occurs because incomplete tasks create a kind of mental tension that enhances recall. It's like having an open tab in your brain's browser, it keeps drawing attention until it's closed. For example, if you start a project at work and get interrupted, you're likely to keep thinking about it until you can return and finish it. This can be beneficial as it helps ensure important tasks are not forgotten. However, it can also lead to stress if too many open tabs accumulate. Understanding the Zeigarnik Effect can help in managing tasks more effectively by prioritizing the completion of started projects and minimizing interruptions to reduce cognitive load. Bystander Effect. The bystander effect describes how individuals are less likely to help a victim if other people are present. This effect occurs because of diffusion of responsibility, where each bystander assumes someone else will intervene, leading to inaction by all. Additionally, social influence plays a role. If no one else is helping, individuals may interpret the situation as non-emergency. This effect was famously illustrated in the case of Kitty Genovese in 1964, although later reports questioned the interpretation. Understanding the bystander effect is crucial for emergency response training and encourages individuals to act rather than wait for others to do so. Recognizing this bias and being aware of it can help individuals break from the group inactivity and potentially save lives. Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance occurs when a person holds two or more contradictory beliefs, ideas, or values, or their behaviors and beliefs don't align, causing psychological stress. For instance, if someone believes in the importance of a healthy diet but eats fast food regularly, the conflict between their beliefs and actions creates discomfort. To reduce this discomfort, they might change their behavior, justify it, or alter the conflicting cognition. Cognitive dissonance is a powerful force that can influence people to change their beliefs or justify their actions in surprising ways. Understanding this concept is crucial for recognizing why people sometimes act against their own beliefs and how they justify those actions, which can be essential for both personal development and effective communication. False consensus effect. The false consensus effect is a cognitive bias where people overestimate the extent to which their beliefs, opinions, preferences, values, and habits are normal and typical of those of others. This leads to a perception that more people agree with them than actually do. For example, if you strongly believe in the benefits of electric cars, you might assume that most people share your enthusiasm. This effect arises because individuals often interact with others who share similar views and thus get a skewed perspective of the general opinion. Recognizing this bias can improve our understanding of the diversity of opinions in a larger population and help in more accurately gauging public sentiment and making decisions in social, professional, and political realms. Illusory correlation. Illusory correlation occurs when people perceive a relationship between two variables that statistically does not exist. This cognitive bias can lead to superstitions or stereotypes, such as believing that a particular behavior causes good or bad luck, or associating negative traits with a specific social group without evidence. For example, thinking that rainy days cause headaches might lead one to notice headaches more on rainy days, ignoring instances that contradict this belief. This bias highlights how our perceptions can be flawed and emphasizes the importance of scientific thinking and statistical analysis to discern true patterns from false ones. Understanding illusory correlation is crucial in avoiding prejudiced beliefs and making decisions based on accurate observations. Placebo Effect. The placebo effect is a fascinating psychological phenomenon where a person experiences a real improvement in their health or symptoms even though they're using a treatment that has no therapeutic effect. This effect is driven not by the treatment itself, but by the person's belief in that treatment. For example, if someone takes what they believe is a pain relief pill, but it's actually just a sugar pill, a placebo, they might still feel pain relief. The power of expectation plays a critical role here. The brain is essentially tricked into thinking the treatment is real and activates healing mechanisms. This phenomenon is widely studied in medical research to better understand the impact of treatments and to control for the psychological effects of therapy. Understanding the placebo effect is essential, as it underscores the influence of mind over body and highlights the importance of psychological states in health. It reminds us that the context and perception of treatment can be as crucial as the treatment itself. Primacy Effect. The primacy effect refers to our tendency to remember the first items in a series better than those that come after. This effect is rooted in the way our memory works. The first pieces of information we encounter often receive more cognitive processing because they are a starting point for any further information. For example, when listening to a list of grocery items, you're more likely to remember apples and bread if they were mentioned first, rather than yogurt and coffee that might come later in the list. This is because the initial items can be rehearsed more times, making them more likely to be transferred from short-term to long-term memory. The primacy effect has significant implications in various aspects of life, including how we form first impressions, how we consume media and advertising, and even how we teach and learn. Understanding this effect can help in structuring information in a way that maximizes recall of the most important points first.